tuning in to another episode of the Berardo Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Berardo. Each episode I focus on giving you fun, entertaining content on health, happiness, positivity, and anything else that's important to us humans. If you haven't already, you can follow me on Instagram at the Berardo, and don't forget to subscribe to the show by visiting theberardo.com/thepodcast, or just click that little subscribe button wherever you're listening to the podcast. Thanks again, and enjoy the episode.
You're just funny. It's funny, the way you tell the story and everything.
Funny how?
Come here though. Yeah, he's crazy, see? Who are you?
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Are you ready?
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Berardo Podcast. Today is a fun one. I get to bring back a very popular guest of mine, and that is the wifey. I think the last time we did one was back in during the holidays, maybe before the New Year's, Christmas or something, I think. But now we're, literally a year into the pandemic. So we kind of shoot the shit on what we've been up to and the new house. We talk about that. We talk about going out in public and the lack thereof that we do, because we typically don't go out anymore. And when we do, it's very frustrating. And, so we kind of dip into the cleanliness of humans nowadays and the different thought process, but it's always a fun conversation. I always, hear comments and reviews that you guys love having her on. So I'm happy to have her on. She's always a fun guest, even though I got to force her into it. So I think you guys are going to kick out of this. But before we get into today's episode, I do obviously want to thank a couple of our friends. One of them being my good friends at Superfat. So Superfat, guys, is the keto and paleo friendly company that has tons of great products, from baking mixes like keto brownie mix and pancake mix, even to nut butters and keto cookie bites. So no matter what your craving is, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Superfat has you covered. You can visit superfat.com, use the code Berardo10. You'll get 10% off everything in the cart. So I recommend, if you are a big nut butter guy like I am, you can actually try their variety pack. So you can try all their different types of nut butters they have, and they're all good fats for you. Hence the name Superfat. They're packed with, macadamia nuts, almond nuts, coconut, MCT oil, all the good healthy fats that your body craves, especially if you're into fitness and working out. You're going to want to try Superfat. Again, superfat.com. Use the code Berardo10 for 10% off your entire order. And I do want to thank our friends over at Golden Ratio. So I just posted something on Instagram. If you guys follow me at the Berardo, you could check that out. But Golden Ratio is like my new favorite cup of coffee. I don't know about you guys, but if you're a big coffee drinker, even if you're not a coffee drinker, you should try out Golden Ratio, because usually when I have coffee, I'm at the point now where I'm super immune to it, but I'm not getting all the good benefits of coffee anymore, like the caffeine and because I'm so used to it, right? And then of course coffee. What's the worst thing about coffee is you get the coffee breath, you get stained teeth, you get the jitters. Golden Ratio will eliminate all that for you without sacrificing the caffeine, which is huge. Golden Ratio actually slow roasts all their beans, so the coffee actually drinks more like a tea, not like a coffee. So it's not thick and acidic. It's actually 5 times less acidic than your normal coffee. But again, it does not sacrifice the caffeine. So you're going to get in between 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine per cup. You could drink it hot, you could drink it cold. It literally comes in these little tea bags, each individual serving. You can heat up some water, put the tea bag in there, and let it steep for 10 minutes like you would tea, and then boom. After 10 minutes, you got a nice caffeinated cup of coffee. Again, that drinks more like tea than coffee. You can visit Golden Ratio's Instagram at Drink Golden Ratio, or just go to their website, drinkgoldenratio.com. If you want a 20% discount, use the code The Berardo at checkout, and you could try all their different flavors. They have vanilla coconut, which is one of my favorites, spiced tea, which the wife likes, and then of course they have tons of other seasonal flavors like pumpkin spice, chocolate mint, all types of great stuff. Again, drinkgoldenratio.com. Use the code The Berardo. Thanks, Golden Ratio. Okay, without further ado, let's get into today's episode with the wife. Everyone, please help me welcome my lovely wife, Brenda Berardo. This is so great. It's good to have you, babe.
Thanks for having me again.
You hate coming on here. It's so fantastic. I love it so much to force you into this.
Great.
So last time you were on was, I think, Christmas, right?
Think so.
Something like that. Yeah. What you been up to since then?
Same old, same old.
Yeah.
Not much has changed.
Is it distracting? Me having this in the background to where you can see the cameras and see what's
No.
going on?
It's more distracting that when I'm looking at you, you look like a Cyclops robot.
Because I have so many things.
Yeah.
Well, all this was, thanks to you. Just a lot of cool gifts that you got me.
You're welcome.
I mean, most of them you got me. The rest I just kind of purchased on my own.
Yeah.
And said it was from you.
Only one of those things that happened.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, lots happened since last time you were on the show. If you didn't know, we've been together for most of it, all of it.
Most of it.
Yeah.
Giving people some weird, weird and cryptic things.
Well, I mean, we've had a wild year. Lots happened since the pandemic.
No. Yeah. I thought you meant since December.
Oh, well, that too.
Oh, okay.
Because we're still under a pandemic.
Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere
Yeah.
anytime soon. Anyway,
Yeah. How you been holding up?
I've been okay. I did take a social media hiatus, going on 2 months now.
That's right. Are you loving that? You enjoying it?
Yeah, it's better. I feel like subconsciously that type of stuff gets, under your skin a little bit and messes with you, especially, during these types of situations. So
Yeah.
I'm just doing better use of my time than scrolling aimlessly on social media platforms, if
Was
you
it-
will.
Was there a specific reason or channel why you decided to go dark?
Well, just obviously we're trying to start a family, and the overwhelming amount of baby announcements and baby births, I just,
Yeah.
no thanks. I'll get off and just obviously deal with that on my own personal time.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and also, I mean, there's people, whether, they're having kids or not, there's just a lot of, there's a lot of negative shit out there,
Yeah, a lot. And again, that goes back to subconsciously, whether you realize it or not, it's going to mess with you a little bit,
Yeah.
especially like during this pandemic where you're basically, some people are being safe, some people are being idiots, and even seeing the idiot people, it kind of makes you mad because it's like, because of these idiot people, this is why we're still in this fucking shit. Sorry, but it's true.
Yeah. Well, we encourage cursing on the podcast, by the way.
Good. But yeah, and plus it was a lot of political things going on. It was just a lot of negative things. I just feel like I could have, better utilize my time.
Yeah, true. And I mean, you've done so, no?
Yes, I'd have to say I did.
Is there anything with 2 months of being off social media, is there anything that you've done that's been beneficial, you think? Like mentally or just anything getting off of it?
Yeah, I mean, I like to be a little bit crafty, so I've been doing a lot more of that. So I'll take little breaks during work, and like I made Valentine's cards for my friends and sent those out. Birthday stuff. I've done a little bit of coloring.
Yeah.
Little breaks.
Well, I mean, you did stuff around the house too.
I did do stuff around the house.
That was tight. That was tight.
Yeah. So that's been a nice little outlet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of house, you excited?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, we've been here. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's different now.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
We've added a lot of things.
we've added things. We've since the last time you were on the show, we've definitely made some adjustments to everything. Kind of found our home,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's one thing that's been, pretty exciting about, not being in the pandemic, or excuse me, being in the pandemic, but not like going out and actually doing things.
Yeah. Making it a place to hang out
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if more people kind of focused on that, about like making their home a place where they can do, like all the things they want to do, as opposed to sometimes we think we need to go outside to do the things we like to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've cooked a lot more too.
You have cooked a lot more.
Mhm.
That's another thing I wanted to mention too, because I'm really impressed with how we've been doing the purple carrot.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So purple carrot, if people don't know, is a subscription box, but it's all plant-based. I don't even think they have regular options. I think it's all plant-based.
I think it's all.
And they're, you could do like a meal a day, you could do a family of 4, whatever you want, but we decided to do 3 meals a week, 2 servings a meal, and they ship you everything that you need to cook with. So we're not wasting any food anymore, which is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they even end up, spoiler alert, I hate to say this because I don't want them to like listen to this and say, oh, we're going to send you less stuff. But they
There's
send
a disclaimer on there where they say use the extra at your own leisure. There's a little asterisk.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah.
Because they send a lot of extra shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it calls for 1 clove of garlic and we end up getting,
A whole bud.
yeah.
We
So,
have so much garlic. We need to use that.
yeah.
Maybe I'm going to put some on pizza tonight.
Ooh, yeah. And then, you have like, they'll give you extra onions, they'll give you extra spinach and kale and all that stuff. But, no, it's been cool because we're like getting surprised every day for our meals, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we don't have to plan out a meal. You just open up the package for the day that you want to eat and you cook it right there. And you've been doing a great job, been pretty much cooking every single one. Easy to follow instructions.
Yeah. That's the way I like to cook. I don't like to have to go through the process of, what do I want to eat? What does Tony want to eat? What do you feel like eating? And then you're planning it out. And then if you get set on, something that you're in the mood for, and then you don't have the ingredients, then you have to change it up. Ugh, I'd rather just know what's coming
That's right.
and choose.
Yeah. No, it's been very cool. I'm really impressed, and the food's been incredible. I mean, I don't think there's been one meal that I'm like, I wouldn't get that again. I mean, like the kale mac and cheese was dope.
Oh, that one was good.
There's been some really good like tacos, and you can make your own tortilla chips. The tofu thing you made the other night was really good.
Oh, yeah. Those the lettuce cups.
Yeah,
It's very good.
like P.F. Chang's style lettuce cups.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's been cool. And I mean, I think we've been saving money because it's like $70 a week. And normally we would go shopping, we would spend close to $300 for the month. But with this, it's getting prepared for yourself. You're having leftovers, so I mean that feeds us for the week.
Yeah.
And I just like that you're not wasting food. That's like my biggest thing. Is you're cooking what you have, and you're not those people that are contributing to wasting food and just throwing it away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So yeah, that's been cool.
Good.
So yeah, I'm loving that, and it's also we're kind of bonding.
Mm.
When we cook at home, it's different than going to a restaurant, right? Like there's something about cooking at home that's just it's A, more satisfying, and then B, it's just like I don't know, it's just very similar to how I feel about the backyard. When you look at it, like when you look at that meal and you taste it, and it's so good. Like there's something different about that than when you go to a restaurant. Like we go to restaurants and of course the food's more often than not pretty good. But when you get done eating it, you know, there's no satisfaction. That's why sometimes we drown our meals in booze, you know. It's like we just don't
Well, I mean, to each their own credit, just
Right.
because I do like cooking at home and eating at home, and it's nice that we can like bring our food out to the patio now and eat out there when it's nice out, now that we're having like some nice weather, like in the evenings and stuff like that. But also sometimes it's nice not to have to cook and do the dishes afterwards and pack up everything.
Yeah.
Like we went to a restaurant the other day because we both didn't feel like cooking, and she just took our plates, packed it up, put it in a bag, and I was like, great.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. We went to, what was it, Stonewood we went to?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. But, you know, again, it's like you also feel differently when you eat out.
Well,
Like,
I think the main thing, yes, you do feel differently when you go out.
and it's not a good feeling. It's not like,
No, it's like bleh,
Right.
lethargic and kind of yucky.
Yeah.
But now that we've been in this pandemic, I feel it's more stressful because, first of all, we don't know how to leave the house. So it's like,
Yeah.
I think every time we have to come back in at least once, turn off the alarm, blah, blah, blah. And then driving, you just realize how stupid people are driving, getting there. Ugh. It's almost like, I don't know. It's just annoying, the process to get there. But once we're there, it's nice.
Yeah.
And plus with the pandemic, that just adds a little bit extra anxiety because obviously, you know, other people are stupid and you're just trying to be careful for yourself. But
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah, with the pandemic in particular, I've noticed that it's more of a hassle. Like, where did we go yesterday? We went to like Target, or we had to do a bunch of errands or something yesterday.
Yeah.
And just like going out and doing those things. Like getting in the car was fine. Pulling out of the driveway was fine. Listening to music when, you know, we put on like Dirty Heads or something. And we're just like, and you're driving. Everything's fine. And then the second you see another human being, the world just fucking
Crumbles.
yeah, it just opens up to you, and you're like, this is why I hate going outside, because there's other human beings that are in charge of what's happening around me. And you don't have any control over it sometimes. Like,
It's not even that they're in charge of things. It's just everybody, and I've said this plenty of times before, everybody is just so selfish in their own right, I guess, but they just forget that in that selfishness, you're also kind of risking everybody else's life,
Right.
driving, walking, doing stuff.
yeah, I mean, it's not like intentional. It's not like people are,
No.
you know, but I mean, if everything was automated, like if there was autonomous vehicle, like if everyone had a Tesla and everyone's driving on their own, or excuse me, the AI is driving and then everyone's just saying, we all be fine. But because people are making these stupid decisions, doing all these things,
Yeah.
and then, you know, we finally get through all the bullshit of traffic. Ugh. And, you know, we pull up to Target. And then fucking here we are inside Target, and the same douchebags that were driving to Target or wherever else they're going are the ones that end up walking into Target and react the same way and drive, quote unquote, the same way with their cart
Yes.
inside Target.
I almost lost my attitude yesterday.
I know you
I
did.
literally wanted to punch everybody.
They're not
I
staying
mean,
in their lanes, and they're
Just disclaimer.
not.
The
Right.
same way you drive on the fucking road is the same way you walk in a goddamn store.
Yeah.
If this way, you're walking to go that way. This way.
Tight to the
You're
right.
not coming. If you see someone coming your way and you're just coming straight for me, you don't even think to move. Well, bitch, I'm not going to move either.
Yeah.
I'll hit you. It's
Yeah.
fine. Or they like dead stop in the middle. And it's like, do you not realize that you're not the only person in this damn store? Like, I even went down an aisle and the lady reached in front of me. And I'm like, not even pre-pandemic would I allow that to happen.
No.
And now, post-pandemic, you're sitting here like crossing in front of me when you obviously see me looking at the same product.
It's just as bad. By the way, I figured this out finally. I'm just going to put it high like this.
Oh, there you go.
That looks good, right? Yeah, but I figured out just as bad with the pandemic. I feel like people are a little bit more like they're kind of okay. So they're trying to be cautious, but there's this weird line that people are doing where they're cautious to the point to where they forgot about all other ways to interact with people. So they're doing something that they think is the right thing to do because of the pandemic, but then you're also forgetting about 17 other laws and things that you're breaking, like, you know, ethics that you need to hear by, like
Common sense.
yeah, like where I think it was Target still too. Shout out to Target. Thanks for this. But I think we were like walking down an aisle and you had the cart and then I was trying to grab like, I don't know, canned foods or something. And I was in the aisle and I was just looking like I normally do. And I'm kind of, I took a step back. It wasn't a big step, but you know, the canned foods are in front of me. I'm taking a step back. So I'm on the other side of the aisle. You follow? So there's like 8 feet, whatever that distance is between. And then some girl was like next to me and she wanted to just walk through, but she was waiting for me to move. And I'm like, no, I made that space so people could walk through, but I could also look at the beans. But because of the pandemic, you don't want to get close to me. Listen, man, I'm wearing sweats. I got a mask on. You're inside a store. You know, this is the best we could do. Like, take it easy.
And that's the other end of it where, okay, we're adhering to these rules when it's dumb to as well. For example, you were technically in her lane, let's just say. So instead of her saying, excuse me, and kind of cutting in front of you, she stops like a damn idiot and is just sitting there. Oh my God, he's in my way. No, bitch, there's plenty of room. Just go to the left. If no one else is coming, like it would be a different thing if I was like in front of you with the cart and then you were standing and we were blocking the whole aisle.
That's right.
But people don't sit there and rationalize when to utilize those rules or not.
Well, and I mean, people are trying to be more careful and I get it, but if you go into the store, you have to just admit to yourself that there's a small percentage or a small chance, a small percentage that you're going to get COVID in the store. It's going to happen. So if you really are that weird, then pick your shit up online and just pick it up at the store and don't worry about it. But when you go into the store, don't act like everyone has cooties. Like we get what's going on. Like everyone's trying to be cautious and everyone's walking slow and everyone's, you know, being weird about picking things up. So everyone's taking their time and I just don't like going out now because people just forgot how to interact with people. Like I like to go out and I like to, you know, do those types of things because it's good to be with humans, you know, in public. But then you forget what humans are like, and humans are horrible. Like it's just not a good situation to be in.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
and there's nothing we can do about it. The only thing that you can do is just sit in your car, rip off that mask, take a deep breath, and see, fuck.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the mask is the other thing where it's like just being in that store and breathing in your own CO2 and your own,
it dries,
your own black coffee that you end up drinking that day. Ugh.
Yeah,
brutal.
It's bad. It's very bad.
Do you think it's been worse or better, like in terms of going out since like a year ago? Well, let's not, like 6 months ago. Would you say people are getting more comfortable with things, or?
I would definitely getting more comfortable with things. I feel like, I mean, I even saw a few people without a mask in Target. And
really? When we were there? What time? When we were there?
Yeah. Like, even when we went to that Tractor Supply store, a few people, but when you go into a Tractor Supply store, it kind of, they're not the ones that are pro-mask, if you will.
Yeah, they're different. They're different breed of humans.
Like she took off her mask and they have the tape to keep the distance. And I was like stepped on the tape, but she was behind her tape, so she was getting closer to me, and then she took off her mask and she got really close to the cashier, and I backed up and I was like, oh. And the guy that she was with was like, you could tell he was like embarrassed because she was kind of being annoying and taking her sweet time, but she took off her mask and she was getting close to and the cashier, you can see her like back up. And I'm like, this is just not where I want to be. Like, I'm backing up. The person behind me is backing up. The guy she's with is like embarrassed. The cashier's backing up. It's just, I mean, I feel like it's better only because, you know, people are just now semi getting used to it.
Right.
But at the same time, some people just don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's one thing I did notice is it's like either there's only extremes to it, right? It's either people don't give a shit at all or people care too much. They're like, there's no in between where.
I mean, if you go into a store, and even if you don't go down each aisle, whatever, if you just, even at Target, I mean, there was every spectrum in there. So there was a lady who was wearing gloves, a mask, and like she had disposable bags in her cart so that she wasn't putting her stuff in the actual cart. She was putting it in the bags. And then I went to the produce section and there was a girl on the phone. Her mask was hanging off her ear. Just nothing, just talking, walking around. And then there was people that, you know, are wearing their mask, but they like have them like down here.
Yeah, they block the whole nose.
Yeah, or they just put it like a sling for their face.
Yeah, there was the old, I don't know if you've seen this trick before, but I saw it at a gas station when I was getting gas the other day for you for only the third time this year. So it's been great to not spend money on gas. But there's the old, like, I work at KFC trick where they only cover the beard. You've seen this?
Yes.
With the mask?
It's like you're defeating every.
Yeah, like you're putting it right here. And also, too, you know, if you have something like that on you and then you end up putting it to your face again, like the cleanliness of your face is not, you know, you shouldn't be taking that and putting it right to your nose afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, especially you got a beard. You know, you see all those videos and you hear those stories if you like have a beard and you flush the toilet. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a little blue lights or something you could look up.
I mean, that's one reason I don't like going to public restrooms either.
Yeah.
I mean, just particles of literal shit.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It's disgusting.
Well, yeah. And they don't have the lids. The lids is what
exactly
protects. But even if they did have the lid, I wouldn't want to touch it anyway, right? Like that's kind of the double-edged sword.
I can walk you through exactly how I deal with a public restroom.
Talk to me.
I walk in and I kick open the door. I don't even use my hands to open it. I just prop it open. I try not to do it hard because sometimes if there's a line in the girls' bathroom, I've hit children before. It's fine. Well, it was an accident. Why are they standing there? So I open it. I grab a piece of paper towel. I push with the paper towel the door open, close it, lock it with that paper towel, throw it away. I literally don't touch anything except myself.
Do you squat?
Oh yeah, I hover
Squat
every
the whole time.
My legs don't touch the seat. Even the toilet paper, sometimes depending on where I am, the same paper towel that I used to open the door, I'll like take off one part and then use that to pull out the toilet paper that was hanging, rip it off, throw that away.
Sure.
And I'll grab the fresh toilet paper that hasn't been touched by nobody yet. It's a process. I'll grab more toilet paper to exit the bathroom.
Yeah, that's probably a big reason why it takes so long.
But honestly, that was pre-pandemic, so it's beneficial now.
Yeah, because you don't have to like retrain yourself to do things.
That's my natural process because people are gross. I mean, one thing that, you know, I've had the conversation about is just people are instinctively gross. Yeah. And sometimes people don't even realize it. Like I've always said this to you where sometimes I'm too observant to where it's not beneficial for me because I will watch people and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't want to watch people. They're
No.
gross.
Like, I've seen people in the grocery store, like, they'll touch the produce and then they'll do this number and then touch something else. And I'm like, disgusting.
So gross. And it's even more gross that these are the same people that they're doing this all over the store,
Yes.
you know, and there's thousands and thousands of people every single day. It's humans are gross.
Again, it comes back to also common sense. Like,
Mhm.
biggest pet peeve about people that wear gloves. You're defeating the purpose, technically, because they're supposed to be single use. So technically, if you really wanted to use the glove appropriately, that would mean you put on a glove, touch a peach, put it in your bag, throw away that glove,
Right.
and then go to the next produce. You're still spreading. So whatever was maybe on that peach, you're bringing it to the avocados. You're bringing it just doesn't make
defeats the
sense.
purpose, yeah.
Or people that go to the gas station and they use the glove, but then they have the glove on this one and they still touch everything with this one. I'm like, why? Why did you do that?
What's the point?
And I know it's hard. Sometimes it's, just instinctively, you just want to touch whatever's closest.
Yeah, you don't think about it.
But purposely, I'll put my hand without a glove
Mhm.
in my pocket to just be a reminder, as it's kind of like when people try to quit smoking and they have the rubber band.
Right.
I just put it in my pocket and it's like,
Yeah.
why do I because I'm not
That's
going to
why.
touch nothing with that.
That's why. Yeah, that's a good point. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with people are trying to do, like I was saying earlier, they're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But these people just don't know how to react in a normal way anyway. Like, these are the same non-educated people that, think by staying inside Target, you're going to get COVID. I mean, do you have more of a chance going inside Target and getting it than like being outside playing? Yeah, of course. But there's got to be a point where we need to just live our lives, be safe, be sterile, clean up. Like, the reason we're in this mess is because we're just disgusting. Like you said, we're just disgusting humans. Like, we forget about the little things. Like, before the pandemic, were public bathrooms disgusting? Yeah. So shit is flying all over the air, microscopic shit particles, and we're inhaling it, we're touching our face, we're sniffing our nose, and we're gross. Like, if we just took care of our shit all the time, and we don't have to all be germaphobes, but there's got to be some etiquette involved.
But people just don't have it.
No.
A lot of times people just don't have it
Mm-mm.
at all. It's really amazing.
It's gross.
Like, trust me, they say, oh, women, dainty, blah, blah. Women are, I think, the grossest sometimes
Oh,
when
no
it
doubt.
comes to certain things. It's like,
I heard women's public bathrooms
it's
are
disgusting.
are
Why do you
gross.
think I don't touch anything? Because, this is going to get graphic, and you can edit this out if you want to.
hell no.
But some women, I'm not saying all, because I am not that way. And it's all in how you are raised. So,
Ooh, this can be good, isn't it?
so there are several different types of women that go into the bathroom. Okay. There could be a squatter that sprays the seat. You think she's wiping that?
Sprays.
Yeah. I'm not going to get too scientific about it, but it can sometimes spray. Yes.
Like, I know ours can spray sometimes. Well, more often than not, it sprays.
Yeah.
But women.
Yeah. I don't want to get too into vagina anatomy.
Well, but she must be squatting high then.
Well, no, you could be squatting pretty low, and sometimes it'll.
It's like that weird setting on Windex that's right in between the spray and the jet.
Sometimes it just gets obstructed and it'll spray on the seat.
You motherfuckers are
I
gross.
was trying so hard to figure out a way to explain that. But yeah, sometimes it gets obstructed and it will spray. And those people sometimes won't wipe the seat. Most of the time won't wipe the seat. Then there's the girl that she might be on her monthly,
You could say period.
on her period.
Mm-hmm.
And they might pull out a tampon, and guess what? Some blood drops on the floor. I told you it was going to get graphic. And they'll leave it there. I mean, great example. This is a great example. When we were working in the office, we literally had a meeting. Only the girls, women, we're grown-ass women, 25 plus. We had to have a meeting and put up signs in the bathroom about people being gross
On
and
this
having
subject?
etiquette. Yeah.
Was it a woman
there was blood
that?
on the wall. How the
Whoa.
fuck? What were you doing? Did you take it out and fling it? Did you like take off, if you're wearing a pad, did you slap it on the wall? Like, it made no sense. And we got called into a meeting
Wow.
because of this grossness. And it was more than once.
Was there a woman that was hosting the meeting?
Well, poor unfortunate of the only woman that was in the higher ranked position,
Right.
who is equally as awkward as me, I feel, had to call everybody. Like, we had a meeting with the whole team with the guys, and then at the end of it, they said the women stay.
Oh my.
Like, the fact that you had to pull grown-ass women into a meeting to talk about that is like...
There's something wrong with that.
And, you know, I don't like speaking in front of people, and I actually was like, can I, like, say something?
Right.
I was like, also... Some women, I don't know if maybe their mother didn't teach them right or they just don't really give a fuck. But when you use a tampon, the applicator doesn't go in the toilet.
There's like a separate.
Yeah, you have to throw that away. It's plastic.
Yeah.
That doesn't flush down the toilet.
Yeah.
And people will flush them. It's like, you don't know? I mean, at this point, if you're 25, you've had your period for a good 12 to 15 years, depending on how early you got it.
Yeah, you should have some
You
decent
should-
practice at it.
You should definitely know what goes in the trash and what doesn't.
It's so wicked.
It's weird. Like, there was even an email sent.
Wow.
All the things.
Yeah, and that's another benefit of like not being in the office, right? Because like working from home now, I mean, of course, there's a lot of pros to working with people. I miss the
Mhm.
people I work with too, but there's definitely more often than not, there's more cons on a daily basis that get you upset versus pros.
Oh, yeah. Working in an office?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's definitely something weird about being stuck in four walls with the same group of people every day, doing the same thing, you know, relying on them to clean up after their own messes. And if they don't, and you want to do something like sharing a break room,
Oh, my God. That was the worst.
so disgusting.
They would just throw food. It wasn't a
Right.
garbage disposal in the sink. And there would be food netted there. And it's like, if I'm trying to rinse my stuff, like I scraped off my food, I'm trying to rinse my stuff, and then the sink starts to fill up because it's clogged. But it's like, again, common sense. Go ahead. There was a mesh there that it wasn't going to go down the drain. But if you're going to be that person to put the food in there, take out the mesh and throw it away. Why am I having to clean up your mess?
Well, and this goes back to what we talked about. Like, humans are just
Gross.
disgusting. Yeah. And they're not used to this normal etiquette as it is. So when this pandemic hit, they're really not used to it. So they're trying to overcompensate and do little extra things that don't really matter, but they're still lacking a lot of the etiquette. It's like, it's so weird that people don't think to themselves, again, on a daily basis, if I'm using the space, you know, and these are the same people that probably when you go to their house is,
Disgusting.
yeah,
It's just
So-
being considerate.
right.
Like, you're in a shared space.
Mhm.
Let's be considerate. Like, people leaving, they'll spill shit in the fridge. For example, they'll put it on the top shelf and it's like red, sticky juice of some kind. And it leaked. Went all the way to the bottom. Do you think when you went to go grab that again, you didn't think, oh shit, it leaked. Maybe I should clean that up. Instead, I go to get my lunchbox, sticky shit's on top. The other person that was underneath me, sticky shit on top. And you didn't think twice. Maybe I should clean that up. That to me, I just don't know how that doesn't naturally happen.
Right.
I opened it. It wasn't even mine. I was like, oh shit, maybe I should wipe that down.
Yeah.
And it wasn't mine.
Yeah.
But people just don't have that ingrained in them. They really
Yeah.
don't.
And I mean, laziness too, right? Like that's just extra work. People are just naturally lazy. We want to do the least amount of work for the most amount of money.
Yeah.
So,
But
you
I
know,
feel like that has nothing to do with you being a slob.
yeah, but again, a lot of people think about it, and I've been in work environments. Thank goodness I've worked from home for the past like 6 years, 5 years. But I've been in work environments where people don't clean up after themselves. They don't, because the company that they work with has a cleaning service, and every night they come in and clean. So people are just gross to the point to where they're like, well, if I was getting paid a little bit extra, I'll clean up after myself. But since there's already a company that's cleaning, I might as well just be a slob. And that's the point, is like, you shouldn't act like the position you have. You should act like the position you want. And if you're the president of the company and you walk into a break room and it's disgusting, you're going to be upset about that. So
Yeah.
you should act as if that is your break room, like you are the president.
And that even comes back to just being plain considerate.
All right.
Like,
Yeah.
do you think that if I worked for a cleaning company, like,
That I want a
that
shit
I
show.
want to have that extra task because you're lazy and a slob? So, for example, like a lot of times those cleaning crews aren't in charge of cleaning inside a fridge or inside the microwave or anything like that. So now that's falling on us
Right.
as employees of the company, and you're just supposed to clean up after yourself. Yeah, the cleaning crew can mop the floor. Obviously, we're not going to mop the floor, but if you spill something, assist. I mean, my boss, like the boss's boss, he almost broke his body because somebody got ice from the ice machine. It fell on the floor. They didn't bother to clean it up.
Oh, and he
There
slept?
was a puddle, and he had hot tea, and he turned the corner and slipped. And the man's like 6 foot tall. He was like, "Oh my God, I almost broke my neck." And again, that comes back to people being inconsiderate. Like,
Right.
you spilled ice, and your first thought was, "Oh, it'll melt."
It's a horrible first thought.
It's like, do you know what happens
To
on
melt ice?
tile when things melt?
Funny.
It's just interesting how.
I mean, that's not fun. He lived, right? I mean,
Oh
he's
yeah,
fine.
he's
Okay, all right.
alive and well, but
I don't wanna
it's
laugh at
just
that.
those things where it's like, how do people not think of that? Like me, I just don't understand it because I'm just not that way.
Yeah.
I'm always like, even if I spilled coffee on the carpet, granted there's not much I can do, but like I at least absorb most of it, and then
Try to do what you can.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just people aren't that way.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's very strange.
Hold that thought. Bio break.
Bio break.
Yeah, bio. I got
Take a leaks. How did that go? It's an art.
It went good. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Like, peeing sitting down is the way to go.
I agree.
I mean, you don't really have a choice. I mean, what you do.
Well, I can't like stand like you and go pee.
I mean, you could.
I could, but it would be a mess.
It'd be a mess. That's another thing I don't like about public bathrooms, now that we're really getting gross on this, is like men in the urinals are just, that was just a poor, I don't know when the urinal was invented, but it's a horrible design because no matter what you do, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only guy that's like this. I feel like a lot of my friends have had this conversation, but it's so hard to not get piss on yourself.
Really?
Yeah. I
wouldn't
mean,
think
we're
that.
not talking
Is
like,
it like really shallow or something?
well, I mean, for me, it's not low to the ground. Or do you mean shallow inside?
I mean, shallow on the inside.
Oh, yeah.
I
yeah.
feel like it wouldn't have enough of a splash guard, if you will. Like it's shallow, so when you go, it's automatically
Yeah.
splattering.
Well, that's the weird thing, is because it's not, it's the way it's designed is not, unless your stream is very flaccid. I don't know. I don't know what,
Flaccid.
well, unless your stream is,
Weak?
yeah, weak. I feel like that doesn't justify what I'm trying to explain. But your stream has to be very like
Slow flowing?
slow flowing, short, very just kind of like very tired stream for it not to.
That was such a weird.
But like, you know what I mean? Like it has to be like just kind of
I got you.
Yeah.
Like a slow stream.
right.
Not
Because-
like full force like it normally comes out.
Correct. And, this is not being braggadocious by any means, but I feel like
Usually when people start off with that, it means that they're being braggadocious.
maybe. But the distance between the end of my prick and
You can
this
say dick.
the start, I feel like prick's beneficial to say.
I guess.
Because I don't say prick a whole lot, so it's a fun word to say. Try it. I
I don't really like it.
Prick?
It just makes me think of an asshole. Not a literal asshole, but like a
Mm.
person that's an asshole. The fact that we have to elaborate.
Yeah. The English language is strange. But yeah, like the end of my dick to the start of the urinal, or the back of the urinal rather, where my stream is, like, that's where it stops. That's what's supposed to stop it. It's such a short distance that no matter what, it's spraying. And it's spraying to the side, to the front, to the back.
Ew.
It's spraying everywhere. Yeah. I mean, you know,
What if you stand farther from the urinal?
you can, and that's what you end up having to do. But that's why, like, if you ever go to you'll never know this, but a men's public bathroom, they have guards, like, around the urinal. So the urinal's lifted off the ground, but then the guards are on the bottom. They're like these little pads. They look like stepping pads.
That's disgusting.
And that's what it's for, is to go. But it still exists though. Like the padding there just makes you, as a human, when you're pissing on it, you look at the pad and it's covered in urine, and you're like, oh, that's
Ew,
what it's
and
for.
You step on this?
No,
thing?
you don't step on it. You step off it. But
God, imagine being the person having to clean that. Ugh.
it's so disgusting. But what's funny is, you know, this is going on, I don't even know how long. I want to say it's 10 years old, 15 years old, because they used to have troughs, like, everywhere. Now it's separate urinals. But the trough makes more sense. It makes a lot more sense because
God, all of that is so
some of the troughs that you see, you know, have ice in it too, and that protects a lot of the splatter. That's why they do it. And the troughs are
Ice or,
deeper.
like,
Ice.
weird.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's interesting having these conversations with you because neither of us are, unless we undergo a sex change, we're not going to see the other urinal or the other bathrooms.
I've seen urinals. I mean, I've gone to like unisex bathrooms where there'll be a
Sure.
urinal.
Sure.
And I have used the men's bathroom before because the line in the girls' bathroom was too long.
Right.
But
I mean, I have more experience in men's urinals and you have more experience in women's urinals. So it's interesting
Yeah.
to see.
I just don't understand why you guys just can't have a regular bathroom with the toilets to piss in. Like, why does it need to be a urinal?
Well, I always go in the stall. Like, if I could, like, even just now, I mean, I sit on a toilet. I just like to
It's
sit.
appreciated.
Yeah. And I do that for two reasons at home. Number one, because it's just easier, you know, and it's relaxing. And, you know, sometimes I need a little, sometimes it,
You want to amplify that? It's like a megaphone in there.
sometimes, you know, when you sit down and you go pee, just, and it's always good to be sitting down because you never know.
Surprise, gotta poop.
Yeah, it might be. It might be one of those instances where it's like, whoop, I should have sat for that one.
Mm.
But so I like that aspect of it, to sit down. And then number two is there's just no cleanup.
For me too.
That's right. But like in a public bathroom, I just don't know why men don't just only have stalls.
That's what I mean. It
Yeah.
should just be toilets
Right.
all around. Why?
Like there was never a situation where there was too many stalls and then someone walked in the stall and said, "The fuck are the urinals?" There has been numerous occasions, most by me, that I walk in and it's nothing but urinals and the stalls are occupied and I go, I need a stall like right now.
Yes.
There's been that numerous times.
More times than not.
Correct. So if I'm designing bathrooms,
And men
There's-
are less shy about shitting in
That's right.
public. So I'm sure those stalls get blown up
oh yeah, it's aggressive.
on the regular.
Yeah, and what I love most about public bathrooms is there's always this blanket statement of where is the nice place to take a shit. Like, at least for guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I know for some reason, I don't know what it is, and I feel like everyone knows this, CVS is disgusting.
It's always disgusting.
But that like rust is around the sink and it's just always a gross place to be in. But do the people of CVS not know this? Because I feel like everyone knows that CVS is gross.
I used to work at CVS, and I wouldn't even use the bathroom.
It's
I would
gross.
go to the Pollo Tropical that was next door to use the bathroom because their bathrooms were nicer.
Yeah.
And I worked there.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, for example, Walmart, obviously we know is gross. Target, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Especially the
there's
new
been
ones.
a couple of Targets where I was shook. That I was like,
Really?
oh, I am not going in this Target.
Mm.
But then again, they were the ones that were kind of in a
Yeah,
area.
that's right.
Like I walked in one time and immediately made a U-turn. It smelled like piss so bad. And it was like a combination of pee and like somebody using a dirty mop that had been sitting.
Ew.
Ugh,
Gross.
it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
Ew. But yeah, there is a caliber of restrooms.
Yeah.
If there is ever a time where we're driving long periods of time, you have to coordinate those.
That's right.
Like McDonald's, they tend to have nice bathrooms.
Yeah.
Wawa tends to have nice bathrooms.
Chick-fil-A, always nice.
Oh yeah, Chick-fil-A,
Gorgeous.
pristine. Pristine.
Gorgeous.
And then Target for the most part.
For the most part. Porta potties, usually not good.
No,
I've never seen a nice one.
that's enough.
So
100% disgusting.
keep
all
out.
the way.
Keep out for that.
Like I almost pass out holding my breath every time I use a porta potty.
Yeah, I find it even more interesting that we just accept that.
Disgusting.
But like, you go to like a festival, like just not going to any events. I found myself the other day missing certain parts of festivals. Obviously porta potties were not something that I missed. But I remember like a Riptide Festival, you remember that? And there was hundreds of yards of urinals, a lot, or not urinals, but porta potties. And then there's lines, 30 people deep, 40 people deep of each porta potty. And I just found myself like revisiting that moment, and music is playing in the background. It's such like a cool moment to be in at the festival. And then you just look and you realize that 30 people in each line, and there's 200 of these things. They're all waiting to go inside this disgusting box.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. Like, it's something is going to be disgusting, but you're okay with 30 to 40 minutes of just waiting
Well,
to go in that box.
when it comes to natural bodily functions,
I mean, you got to
no
go.
choice.
I mean,
And
you
it's illegal to if you get caught in the
Yeah.
bush somewhere, which at that
If
point,
you
if
get
I
caught,
had
yeah.
to pick between a porta potty and a fucking bush, I'm going to pick the fucking bush.
That's right.
But if you get caught,
But if you have to pick between a porta potty and a ticket, porta potty.
porta potty. But then it's funny because in the VIP section, they had like the nice trailers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
was
what-
like, I'll wait.
That's what I love most about it, is those nice ones. Like, you go in there and they have like lotions and
Yeah.
fucking AC and
The nice
all types of
trailers,
stuff.
all good things.
man, I do. I miss events so much.
Me too, actually.
I miss going to them, miss hosting them, and yeah, it's wild.
That's one thing I do miss is, being able to have like those weekends away,
Right.
do things. But now it's like, I'm even scared to go into a hotel for the most part. Why should I be going in here wiping down things?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we did go when we had kind of like a little Super Bowl event in Clearwater. We did go to the Hilton right on the beach, and that was pretty nice. I mean, they did a good job. It seemed like cleaning, and they put the tape over the door that says, "Hey, this was just cleaned," and when you open it, it ripped the tape up. So
But then again, it goes back to people are gross.
right,
So my caliber of cleaning and someone else's caliber of cleaning could be completely different.
that's right.
So I would rather just go in there, wipe shit down
Yeah,
myself. Like I didn't even use the shower.
no,
I sacrificed that. And
yeah.
I was like, I'll just wait till we get home.
Yeah, it was only a day.
But it's like my caliber of cleaning versus somebody else's is completely different. So
Yeah.
who knows how thoroughly they did. Like
Yeah.
they're probably like, I'm not cleaning that fucking toilet. Did you even wipe the handle?
Yeah, and then also just people think they're not worth the money to do it. They're
I mean, imagine those maids don't get paid
Oh.
well enough to care enough.
Yeah, I mean, especially if especially if they're having like a bad day or something. I mean, they just don't want to. I mean, there's been days where, like, I go hard at work. Like, I put on music and I just fucking, go nuts. And then there's been other days where it's like, I took care of my shit early today. I'll coast.
Same.
So if everyone reacts that way sometimes with their job, you don't want to be that dude.
But see, certain jobs, you don't have the luxury of being that lenient.
Well, you shouldn't be
You
that
shouldn't,
lenient.
but people
I'm sure
do.
people do, yeah.
Because naturally, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Like, my job's not life or death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's stressful and things like that, but it's like, if I take it easy one day and I get my basic shit done,
Right.
I mean, no one's going to die from me missing something.
Yeah.
But I feel like the only people that can't take it easy would be, for example, like doctors and nurses. Like, you
Right.
can't have an easy day.
Firemen, cops,
Like,
first responders, teachers shouldn't be slacking. Like, there's definitely a lot of positions where it is not necessarily life or death, but it's extremely important that you go 100%.
Exactly.
And those are the people that need to get paid the most. Like cleaning services, teachers, first responders. Like, those are people that need to get paid.
I would still be teaching if I got paid for it properly.
Yeah.
But yes, you have to literally give it 110% every fucking day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
There is no slacking at any point ever.
Yeah.
I slept really good those nights. Every night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, especially around, like these times. I mean, because people are on edge, for all those different types of positions, especially first responders and stuff. Like, it's a funky time for sure.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. We just we need to get better at kind of, being self-aware of what we bring to the table every day. Not necessarily just in those positions, but, one thing I'm doing a lot more is like when I am out, or like UPS drivers or Amazon drivers, if I happen to see them, I say what's up. I say, hey, thanks for what you do. Like, same thing with cops and firefighters. You see a guy that's, in the Navy or in the military, he's got a uniform on. Hey, thank you for your service. Like, showing appreciation for other people, I think, is the first step of many steps that we need to take to just be like, to be better people, and we talk about cleanliness and how disgusting people are. A lot of that has to do with like inside, like how they react outside, or how they like express themselves in a public bathroom. Like, that is very real to what's probably going inside their brain.
Probably.
Like, I mean, like,
I'm sure there's definitely some truth to that.
Yeah. I mean, because you're pretty minimal now, as am I. We have clutter and we have some things, but we like to keep things clean and very minimal, right? And I feel like that's how I am in my brain with my thoughts sometimes, like what I want to do. Like, I have a very clear plan. So I feel like that's reflective of what happens in reality. But these people that like are just treating everything around them like it's an amusement park.
Heathens.
Yeah. And it's like, those are people that need to get their shit together, like inside their head. And then once we do that and we're self-aware and we know what we need to do and we start treating other people the right way, I think everything else around us is going to be better. It's what I talk a lot about on the podcast about eating right. You eat right, you feel good, you act good. Like, there's a lot of truth to that.
I actually saw an article speaking of, kindness and people being considerate and things like that, that they were talking something about employees at Disney were getting spit on and like cursed at because of the mask mandate. Because at Disney, you have to wear your mask.
When was this?
The whole
Recently or
time. Yeah,
after
I just saw it the other day. I was Googling, what was I Googling? I don't even remember. But I was Googling a new Disney movie that came out, and like 3 articles down, it said something about like employees at Disney being mistreated due to the pandemic. And I'm like, But why? I'm like, first of all, you fucking chose to go to a theme park during a pandemic. You know the stipulations there. So the fact that they're only doing their job by telling you, hi, you need to fucking put your mask on because
That's right.
they were told that that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it. Like, people become children when it comes to things like that. And I mean, Disney can be stressful, especially let's say you find a guy that has like his 3 kids there and his wife made him go, and you know damn well that he is not the type that wants to be at Disney.
Right.
But why the fuck are you taking that out on a girl that's just doing her job?
Right.
Like, it makes no sense. So, like, example, all these store employees. Like, you know how many times these people are just getting their asses handed to them by just rude-ass people that...
Are you just mean like the basic stores that we go
like
to? Yeah,
Target, Publix, anything like
Sure.
that. And going back to the point where you said where you're making more of a conscious effort to say thank you. Same. I'm like,
Right.
hey, how's it going? Like, I even told a couple girls, I'm like, don't let anybody be an asshole to you.
Right.
And they'll laugh, and I'm like, because I know at least 3 customers ago or 3 customers from now, someone's going to be an asshole.
Yeah.
But-
Well, especially like nowadays, right? You know, because I was just thinking this the other day. I forget where we were at, but we were out somewhere. It might have been a restaurant, might have been Stonewood when we went, but we were like making jokes, having a good conversation with the server or the employee, whoever it was. Yeah, I think it was Stonewood. And like we were just kind of talking, shooting the shit with the server, like going through the menu or something. You remember this?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you know, a longer conversation. And I found myself kind of like attracted to the idea of talking to this other person because I was like, oh my God, you're like I haven't talked to another person this close face to face in like months. So I was like super into it. Right. And we were going back and forth laughing about the menu or the seasonal menu. Oh, we were asking about the peanut butter thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had that last time there, and anything peanut butter, I have to buy it. And even if it's unhealthy for me. And we were laughing about it. And then I said something that I thought was funny, but I couldn't tell if it was funny because she had her mask on and I had my mask on. And it's that weird thing where even if people aren't rude, sometimes like if I was a lesser person, maybe I would take offense to it and maybe I'd be a little bit more standoffish and less like I would humanize things less.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if there was another person that's maybe a dick and they're trying to be better, but then they end up talking to someone else that's kind of a dick, but they're trying to be better, but both people have masks on.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell who's the dick and who's not and who's trying to be nice and who is. It's this weird thing where I don't think we're ever going to figure that out to where we won't have that.
I definitely had a similar moment, but it was with a child. Because I'm like, imagine all these
You were a dick to a child?
No.
Oh.
I'm saying the mask, like
Oh, right.
masking like your face and things
Yeah.
like that. It's like kids these days,
Mhm.
absolutely. Now that everyone's wearing masks, kids respond to like if you smile at them or if you're like talking to them and going like this. But a little kid was sitting in the cart and I was walking towards the bathroom
And Target.
in Target.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm wearing a hat, I'm wearing a mask, and she waved at me. And like by instinct, I smiled, and then I realized she doesn't fucking see my smile, so I had to like wave like really
Right.
aggressively to kind of compensate for that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too. It's like kids now are also not gonna know.
Interaction.
Yeah, they're just like looking at you weird because normally
Yeah.
they only react positively if you smile or.
Well, that's a good point because I didn't think about that. Like, what if your kid's 1 right now and it's a year of this pandemic and a year of the kid wearing a mask and everyone else wearing a mask? It's got to be very like.
It's very disconcerting.
Yeah, I mean, we won't know if it's traumatizing until these kids end up
they
being
won't
serial killers,
remember,
but we don't know, right? Like, what if, like, there's something to be said in that when, like, I don't remember when I was a kid what happened in my household a lot, but I feel like the man I became, you know, I'm just naturally picking these things up. Like, I was very rebellious when my parents were getting divorced, and I think that was because when I was a kid, you know, maybe I would see them argue. I don't know because I don't remember because
I mean,
Memory's
all
a
of
very
that
funky
affects
thing.
you subconsciously.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, and these are things we got to think about. Like, what if this non-human interaction are affecting these kids subconsciously? Like,
Oh, yeah.
they're waving, everything's fine, they're playing in the park, and but then when they go out and they see all these people with masks and no emotion, like, imagine if you just were raised in a world where everyone had no mouth. It's got to be very weird.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you have a mouth. Your
Well-
parents have a mouth when you're at home, but then when you go out, no one has a mouth. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
You're one. Right? So you're one. In your household, everyone has a mouth. Everyone's saying words.
Well,
and
and kids don't have that concept.
They don't get
to
it.
differentiate that.
so the second they came out, and this is even more freaky. I just thought about this. So the second you come out of the womb,
Mass everywhere.
because the doctors are wearing masks. And then your mom is holding you. She's probably wearing a mask too because it's COVID time. And then maybe she's in the hospital bed and you're about to go home and get discharged. Finally, you remove the mask. And as a baby, you're like, "Wah." You finally see, because right? You're feeling as a baby. There's an opening in your face. You're like, oh, there's an opening. I get it. All right. No teeth. Okay. And then, oh, mommy, daddy, now you have an opening. And then for the next year during the pandemic, every single human body has no mouth, no opening in the face.
Yeah.
That's got to be terrible. And then what happens if, like, you sneeze or something, like you're a 30-year-old man and there's a child in front of you and the child's looking at you and you sneeze and maybe you remove your mask for a second and you're that kid, you're probably like traumatized. You're like, you haven't seen an opening in a face in a year. And this guy removed part of his body. Like, which is the mask.
Wow, you
but
really thought about this.
I'm thinking about it now. It's like very Matrix style. I don't know. It'd be terrifying to be a child right now.
I mean, yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. It's very daunting to think about, to be honest.
I mean, no,
And that goes back to the whole thing of, subconsciously things affecting you, kind of going back to things of, becoming an adult, things that have happened in your past, obviously, kind of mold you in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. It's like this whole not being able to hang out with people and all that stuff. It's just, you forget how to socialize. And going back to that waiter at Stonewood, like we had the main waiter and then we had a girl that was following her that was like training. And the fact that she even said, thanks for allowing me to train. I know that could be awkward. It's like, who the hell's going to say something about that? Like,
yeah, I think we even said something too, right? We're like,
in order for her to have to feel like she had to justify that means that maybe at some point
earlier today, someone was a dick,
about
right?
it. Be like, who are you? Are you our server? Like, and there's people like that. It's just like, why you have to be such a horrible human being? Like, why?
And that's the same thing where it's like etiquette, like, and I think I was talking to this.
God, my stomach just growled. I don't know if you're
your
probably
stomach?
gonna hear it. Yeah.
My goodness,
I'm hungry.
you hungry? We're
Yeah.
about to have some pizza in the brand new Brick Oven Pizza. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that in a sec too. But no, I think I was having this conversation with because I did one solo. Oh, with Jason. I was having this conversation with him where I was like, so that's one of those things where I think it's something in our DNA when it comes to food in particular. We're very disrespectful. We're not, but subconsciously, I think there's something when someone serves you food. Because Jason and I were talking about this when we were talking mainly about food and going out that told him about purple carrot, that we don't eat out any much. And I even think I said this story about Stonewood. And I was like, dude, we went out and, we were nice, we were polite, we were fine, but servers were kind of on edge. And I feel like it's because people forgot how to interact, or it could be something even deeper in our DNA where when someone gives us food, we think we're too good for our britches, like our shit don't stink.
Yeah.
And, way back in the day, food was this thing where, you were a fat king and girls would come give you
royalty.
It meant royalty. And it was like they would give you grapes and bread, because that's how it actually started. Was we were talking about how we went out to dinner for the first time in a while, and we've been eating so good and so healthy and purple carrot and small portions and all this. And then, they give us that pretzel bread. So we were talking about the pretzel bread. So they load you up with pretzel bread first, and then we got the appetizers with the dip, and then you get the salad, and then you get the meal. And it's like, you wouldn't eat that way at home. But there's something about having people serve you that, again, you're royalty, and grapes are going to get fed to you, and then there's that kind of like fat, like that fat Roman dude that you always envision in your head where he's got the toga on, you know what I'm talking about? And he's like, oh, send me the bread, you bastard child, like whatever, right? Whatever they say. Like,
What accent was that?
I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to do. Oh,
Oh.
yeah, here's some change.
Oh.
But like, it's that type of like feeling that we have, subconscious, like it's weird how we react to servers and like maids and things like that. So where these are people that are doing things for us.
Oh, I called my mom out. Where did we go? Oh, we went to First Watch.
With her?
And she's like, I want orange juice. I'm like, please? I'm like, what? I'm like, who says that?
That was so funny.
And then she's like, I thought I said it. I was like, no, maybe in your head, but it definitely didn't exit your mouth. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I remember that because we were like, the guy's like, or the girl, she was like, what do you guys want? A couple coffees, some water. And then your mom just like gave it a couple second shots. She's like, orange juice.
yeah.
And we're like,
I'm like,
Oh, what?
where's the please?
Yeah.
I'm like, you raised me to say please and thank you and forcing me to say hi to people I don't want to. And
Yeah.
then you're sitting here and she goes, oh, I thought I said it. I'm like, no, you didn't at all.
yeah,
And she does that often.
yeah.
She's so.
You think it's like a language barrier type thing,
No.
or it's just her being her?
It's just her being her.
Yeah.
I think she probably, and sometimes I catch myself because I know sometimes I have that trait like my mom where I think I said things out loud or I think I responded to a text, but I did it in my head and I was like, oh, I'll just get back to that. And then sometimes I never do.
Yeah.
And I have caught myself where, but I feel like my mom has never caught herself in that moment
She
and
just kinda
corrected it. She just goes with it and she just goes on thinking that she said it
Right.
or did it or whatever.
Yeah.
Me, at least in that moment, I'll be like,
Wait a minute.
wait a minute. I don't think I sent that.
Yeah.
And I'll go back and sure as shit, it'll be like sitting in the text box. I typed it out,
That's funny.
but
Well, and also that has a lot to do with you got to be able to interact with people constantly too, because I think the more you interact with other humans, that's why I love doing the podcast, even though it's virtually. Like the more I'm interacting and you see facial features and you see what people are annoyed by and what they like, what they don't like, what they laugh at, what they hate, and you feel that, you get a good sense of how you are as well. Like it kind of, again, makes you self-aware a little bit when you interact with people. So I think it's important we interact. One thing I've also been doing that I love, especially with like Bobby and Jason, a couple of their friends, is I've been FaceTiming a lot lately.
me too. And I've been calling a lot more.
Right.
I have stopped texting. So I even said this to my friend the other day. I was like, I like the fact that I have now made it normal that I'm calling because it is no longer did something happen when they pick up the phone. Or I don't say that either. The only time I panic a little bit is if my mom calls me. Then I'm like, what happened? Because she doesn't call me that often. She always either texts me or annoyingly sends me a Facebook message. But now that we've gotten to normalize that and it's no longer like only an emergency do you get a phone call, I like it. And I feel like it's better that way just because in text message a lot of times you can get lost in translation or you can get easily distracted. So therefore for example, you'll be in the middle of a conversation via text and then you get bombarded with work stuff.
Yeah.
And then you forget
About the text, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's like, okay, now it's just no point in continuing that conversation because I already lost that trail of thought a long time ago.
Yeah, the lost in translation part is one thing that I've noticed that was happening a lot, especially if like you're on these, multi-day chains, or group texts or whatever. Like even just my mom just today, she goes, hey, can we catch up? I was like, yeah. I was like, when you want to do it? She's like, I don't know, I'm getting my hair done. I go, okay, so when? And she goes, noon, which is noon her time, which is 3 p.m. our time. I go, okay. So then I try calling her. And she texts back. She goes, "Hey, I'm still getting my hair done." And I go, but you said noon to call you." She goes, No, noon is when I'm getting my hair done." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you just said noon in the chain after the hair. You didn't explain that's when I thought, you wanted me to call you, but you're telling me that's when your hair is."
That's definitely a mom thing. My mom does that shit all the time.
That's why I enjoy the phone calls now, because there's none of that.
There's
And-
no loss in anything.
And I also noticed too, especially with social media, since you've been off it, I've been on it less, except for doing stories and stuff, and I'll post stuff. But we always like to follow these trends. Like Twitter was, of course, a trend, and then Facebook, and then Instagram, and then TikTok was a trend, and now people are starting to die off. And Snapchat, now no one uses that. Like humans kind of follow this trend, and it's kind of the same way with texting. Because I think we were so obsessed with texting these last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, however long it's been, is because when, we were in our teens, we had the phone, but you had to press 4, 5 times to get to the R or whatever. But it wouldn't be 4, 1, 2, 7 maybe. Yeah, 7 was R or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you had to press it like 4 times to get to. So texting was a cunt to do. Like you didn't want to do it. So
I was actually better at texting that way because I knew exactly how many times I had to hit
Correct.
it, and I'd just be sitting at my desk like this.
Well, again, you became the sidekick. You became a pro on it, right?
Yeah.
But then when this new feature came out, where you literally could just press the screen, and it was a keyboard on the screen, and it's like, whoa. So then these last 6 years, we've been so obsessed with texting, we forgot how awesome phone calls are. But, we got lost in the whole nostalgia thing of like texting went from caveman shit with the pressing 4 to get to the R. Now it's like this high tech thing, and it's so easy. And then you could talk to text too, which means you don't even have to use your fingers. You just press one button and talk, and it does it for you. And it's so accurate now. You just press send, and that's it. But we forget that talking's way more impactful for your soul than texting.
And more direct and clear with your message that you are trying to send, no pun intended, but you know what I mean.
Well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's just clearer. You're able to, it's almost less, like I said, less distracting.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to have that conversation and not have it trail off and
That's right.
do it. Oh my God, my stomach.
That was just,
Yeah.
I don't think the mic can pick it up, but that's exciting though.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get lost, at least.
That's true. But speaking of hungry though, we got a big night tonight. For the first time, we tested out the brick oven pizza that I built yesterday or the other day, and it works fine, but we haven't cooked anything on it. So tonight's going to be the first night we're going to do it, and it's very exciting. But the backyard's coming together, the house is coming together, things are good. So the COVID thing did suck at first, but it's starting to pan out because we're getting a lot done.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's no different than our regular life. I do like, being able to be home. That was one thing that I would stress about, is that I never had time to clean the house.
Mm-hmm.
I would always have to either I would be too tired during the week and then wait till Saturday and then deep clean everything. And at least now my little micro breaks, I can throw in a load of laundry. I can clean the house, step outside, do whatever, not have to sit in 2 hours of commute either.
That's right. Yeah, it's huge. And I mean, I definitely feel less stressed than I have been in the past. Not just with work, but just when you make time and you prioritize things to get shit done that you actually have to get done, and you do it in a timely manner, and you don't have any clutter, and things look clean, and it looks good, and
I definitely
you
feel less stressed.
Yeah.
I mean, I do stress, obviously, still.
Yeah,
but
we're always gonna stress.
it's always, it's way less now.
Right.
And now I feel like I actually get more work done than before. Whereas before, I mean, I said this, I think, in the last podcast too, where it's by the time you drive to work, get there, by the time you're actually sitting down and actually doing what you need to do, an hour and a half, 2 hours has been wasted already.
Yeah.
Like, I'm supposed to start at 8 o'clock. Yeah, I got here at 8 o'clock, but I didn't actually start doing work till like 9:30 because you're like decompressing from the drive. You're getting yourself situated, getting yourself in order.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like I just walk upstairs and at 8 o'clock I'm already ready to rock because there's nothing to decompress from.
It's kind of awesome.
It's not bad. I dig it.
I'll take it. But I mean, other than that, I just can't believe it's literally been.
It's been a year.
It's been literally a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's so
I think
wild,
March
man.
13th was like officially when everybody
When I got on lockdown,
yeah, went home, started working from home.
Well, because we were in the Bahamas this time last year, and I think we got back like the 20th or something, and it was already in full swing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I went back to the office for 2 days, and then that's when they decided that we were all working from home.
So call it April 1st. It was just, I mean, that's, it's scary. It's scary, and it doesn't seem like it's getting better. But, you know, I think we need this. I think there's always been.
It's a little bit of a reset.
Yeah, and it's always been like, ever since humans came on this planet, there's always been these situations like Ice Age and Stone Age, and there's always been these mega events. Not saying this is a mega event because it could get a lot worse, but this is definitely something where hopefully everyone kind of opens up and like we kind of in full circle bringing this all back to the beginning as treating public restrooms better, public places, public spaces, humans, servers, first responders, treating these people better, cleaning up yourself, taking care of yourself. That's the hope, and, again, I don't think there's going to be another incident that happens unless it's a virus related incident that makes us be more clean, makes us be more healthy, because this is what we're talking about, right? Like, they even say to prevent yourself from having the pandemic, take zinc, take vitamin C, get plenty of sun, be healthier, don't be obese, right? If you have diabetes, especially type 2 or type 1, I mean, it's, you're at higher risk because your body's immune system is compromised.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get a better immune system? You got to take care of yourself. I mean, even if you have a disease like diabetes, there's ways to have a better immune system and treat yourself better.
Agreed.
We won't get into all that, but we know a few people that could easily fix some issues that they have from this underlying condition. So if that's what it calls for, to be healthier and to treat yourself better and to treat others better, be clean and all this stuff. When we get out of this, if we're not all better people, we're fucked. We got a problem.
Yeah.
Because this virus is literally telling
the fear
us.
is that I think Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
A huge problem. Because people are ignorant. People, again, they're selfish in their own right, I guess. But it's also, you have to be empathetic of other people. You have to be, it's not just you out here.
Right.
You gotta one person is not going to fix all of the world's problems.
Right.
It's going to take everyone. And I just feel like a lot of people are just not, they don't care.
Right.
They don't care enough. And it's sad. But the only thing you can do is what you can do. You can only control what you can do. So
that's right.
Look, I mean, it's a scary thought. But
it's terrifying, yeah.
But as long as, you're doing your part, I mean, that's all you can do. Try to push other people to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Hope for the best.
Yeah. That's it. Well said. Well, on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and call this a wrap.
Yeah.
An hour and 20 minutes.
I'm hungry.
I'm starving.
I'm wicked hungry, kid.
I'm fucking wicked starving, kid. We're going to go get some fucking pizza.
Yeah.
Maybe make a stromboli or something like that.
Oh. I don't know.
But this was fun. Thanks again for finally coming on the show. I guess last time you were on was December. called January because I think it was around Christmas. So January, February, March, April. So, almost 3 months. So every 3 months, every quarter, we'll get you on here, maybe?
Maybe.
It takes weeks to get you on here, though.
Well.
Doesn't it?
Well.
And it.
And net. I don't know. I don't like spotlight on me.
It looks good on you, though, right now. Like your camera, for those of you watching on YouTube, your camera looks better than mine.
Yeah. It does.
What the hell?
Well.
You're making it work, girl.
Yeah.
All right, well, ladies and gents, thanks as always for tuning in to another episode of the Berardo Podcast. I'd like to thank my guest today, Miss Brenda Berardo. Gracias.
De nada.
And until next time, we will see you later. Peace.